What's up? It's the Gigabyte Grizzly Brohemoth, and this is a messed up time we live in, so I need you all to do me a favor. Wear your mask. Like this, not like this, or like this, or like this, like this. Wear your mask. It's for your safety and mine. If I see you without one, I'm gonna pump kick a mask onto your face. Got it?
Announcement from Benjamin C. Steele talking to you about wearing a mask. Not this one, but this one. With everything going on right now with this pandemic, you need to wear a mask. My mask is for your safety. Your mask is for mine. I don't care what your uncles, brothers, best friends, mailman's roommate from college put on social media. Chances are they didn't think it through, and there's a very better than average chance that they're an idiot. So when you go outside, you put on your little mask over your face, put the little straps around your ears, and we're all going to be a lot safer. This is a team.
Mercer, one half of the tag team champions. I'm here to tell you that if you want to be a champion, if you want to survive this thing, wear your freaking mask, okay? It comes in all different colors. You can get Eclipse Blue, JC White and Black, or even hell, Blue and Gold. But guys, please, also remember, please, it goes over the nose. Over the nose. Thank you.
for an inch, yeah, fight for you all. Is the truth and I'm in, yeah, fight for every breath that I
Parental discretion is advised.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Just Pro Wrestling News Podcast. No filler, no pop-ups. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show.
just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 890. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we got a hell of a show. We'll have a show. We'll have a show for you tonight. With us on that show to show and show up and show out is our friend from Beacon, New York. He is the only only Mayhemmer with a future endeavor letter from the WWE right down the street from the sweet life-size Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger statue. That's true. That's true. Mad Mike is with us.
Yeah, well, Yuri took show off and show out, so I guess all I had to do was show up.
There he is. There he is. Fantastic. Is that a Bob's Burger style?
Guardians of the Galaxy? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I can promote brand synergy.
Also with us, my co-pilot. Actually, took the wheel for Rob. Take the wheel because I'm taking a nap. He was with me. We'll talk about it later. We were both camera ops on the XPW Rebirth show Sunday, so I watched Dark Side of the Ring the night before. Put that in context.
Yeah, it was.
Rob is with us.
It was kind of off my radar until about 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah. No, it was like a week before we got booked for that, wasn't it?
something like that. I got caught up on all the dark sides like last weekend because I'd been on vacation and was a couple weeks.
So you like just watching it, and I'm like, hey man.
I was ready to talk about, man, that place seems pretty messed up, huh? Oh wait, we can work there? Okay. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in the second half of the show here. But first, in the first half, after we talk a little bit of AEW and such, we have with us, he is a commentator for both the Renegade Wrestling Alliance and Prospect Pro Wrestling. Both have shows the next 2 Saturdays that you should definitely check out if you're in either of those areas. Tony Kincaid is joining us. Also, he is the bard on Top Rope Tabletop.
Yes, I am. Now, Sorg, we have a problem that we have to talk about. I called the hotline because, as you know, 2 shows ago with RWA, Chris Taylor and Ron Hunt took me out, and someone didn't pick up their hotline, and I needed bail money.
Oh, no. I thought we played that on the show. No, I played the other video.
I don't know, because no one brought me bail money.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll have to check the hotline because, well, let's see. We'll look at that again.
I mean, but you do realize that that's an automated answering machine, right?
That's not his direct line.
Did we forget to check the answering machine?
Nobody ever checks.
Oh man,
literally...
are we going back to the gimmick where Sorg yells at a random third person off screen?
Yeah.
I used to have a producer to yell at, and
now
there's
somebody walking by outside.
I'm
the window
just kind of yelling at the taco stand through the window, and this is kind of thing. So we're like, check that. Was it a fax? I don't know.
Next time you should send an owl or a carrier pigeon.
Why do I have text messages from the Doubletree Hilton in Ann
Arbor?
Arbor?
Reel to reel.
Man, I should really check this line more often. Jeez.
Hey, look, there's that bit. There it goes.
Yeah.
Bye, bit.
Oh, okay. There it goes.
Wait, hold on. How'd the bit get here? That's so weird. It traveled through the internet.
Wow.
I bet.
Hey, all the bits and bytes are happening, and you can send your bits and bytes to that email address.
Good times.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, 412-206-WMAZ0, which may or may not be checked these days. Apparently, we don't know if we're getting our lines on them. So, sorry, Tony.
I mean, if you need bailed out of jail, don't call that.
Yeah.
Apparently
Don't make that your first call for sure.
It should have been Lawless, to be fair. That was probably my dumb.
Yeah,
dumb
get
ass.
David Lawless. Tweet us at Mayhem Show, and of course, follow our Facebook page and group. And Wrestling Mayhem Show is on Discord. The link is over on WrestlingMayhemShow.com, or look up the Wrestling Mayhem Show on Reddit, because some people don't like the Facebook or Meta or whatever it is. So we still want to make sure we're conversing with you, and you have a safe place to have your Mayhem conversations, or come up with new movie titles with Riz in it, like we did today. So
I can't believe you didn't notify me of this.
I wasn't aware of that.
I think
one.
I presume, since it was on Discord, you were getting all the notifications, but I don't know your settings.
Sorg, I'm not on Discord.
You're not on.
I'm not on Discord. I'm not on Discord. I'm on Slack.
Is that why? Oh, that's why there's a different tone in there.
Practically off the grid.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, he's on a different part. He's on a different grid that doesn't connect to the other grid. And, well, there you go. Well, you got something there to...
All right, hold on.
Yes.
Chachi is saying Riz and Furious in the chat. That's not even the good version of that pun.
Okay.
It's Fast and Furious.
I mean, I don't accept either of those from you two, actually. So.
Or Fast and Furious Tokyo Riz.
Oh.
Maybe.
That I will accept.
Okay.
That one I will
that's
accept.
fair. That's
Tokyo Riz?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So we're on all those places, and we're here live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Facebook Live, on the YouTube, on the Twitch, on the Twitter as well. However you would like to consume the Mayhem Show, both on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, on the Sorgatron Media, and IndyWrestling.us accounts, wherever you would like to discover what's going on there. You can both fuck off. Hi, Josh. See you Saturday. But anyways, so what's next? Patreon? Do we talk about Patreon now? Okay, we're going to talk about Patreon. Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. I'm on like 4 hours of sleep. Sorry, guys. Boo diggity! Woo! At the fan of the show level, at Bark Team Hammerfist, our friends at the Poppy Club level, Dave Podner, OccupyProWrestling.com, at Bobby F. J-Town. At the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy, Tal Turner, and The Riz. I feel like there was... And at the manager level, Bradley Brothers. And
Mr. Budhausen himself.
You guys can support this show at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. We are in the works for some holiday specials that we hope to pre-record so I can get a proper break, because fuck, I need it. And maybe I just, we'll start taking that week off, and then maybe I won't come back from Boston for a while. Or I'll just hang out in Beacon, New York. Mike, I'm seriously considering every time I come back from Boston, I'm going to get an Airbnb, whether you can hang out with me or not, just because I need a place to stay, to sleep and enjoy and slow down and not make another 10-hour drive. So
I mean, okay.
It's on the way. It's literally... I'm literally driving by you once a month now for the foreseeable future. So, at least for the rest of the year. So we'll hang out some more. We're catching up on all that downtime.
All right, I'm in Discord. Where the fuck is this conversation?
It's under Indies, because there was an indie show that used.
Of course it is.
Because there was an indie show that said November to Remember or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
So we're like, who the fuck is using the Riz? So
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
God, these puns suck.
Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. So if we have our way, there will be a certain game show coming back, and if you're on Patreon, you'll get an exclusive invite early to join that live. So I want to talk about the wrestles, and I want to talk about the wrestles that I enjoy. And there's a lot that I enjoyed this week, but the one that I enjoyed the most, and the wrestles I enjoyed the most, were Eddie Kingston and CM Punk. And I enjoyed it again when I watched the Eddie Kingston promo that I presume premiered on Dark tonight on the Twitters while I was in the bathroom. I'm very honest tonight apparently. This has been and this is the thing I didn't realize, because I guess somebody had pointed out, some fan had pointed out that a lot of the beats from that promo that pull apart what happened with Punk and Kingston have a lot of similarities apparently to the similar situation between John Cena and CM Punk several years ago.
Yeah.
To which has been confirmed, yes, that's sort of an Easter egg. But hey, it goes to show, it works, right? Because it's practically all anybody was talking about that was actually positive.
It reminds me too, like seeing the Kingston Punk stuff last week was when I worked at AAW a couple months ago and Kingston was there.
Mm-hmm.
And was saying kind of a lot of. I think you heard that promo.
Yeah,
too.
you filmed that awesome promo.
Like
you did.
kind of the like, hey, I've had some hard times and I'm lucky to be here kind of thing. So it seems like a lot of that kind of popped up in there too.
And that's a big thing because that is the real shit that he brings in, and that's where when you're able to thread that needle the way that somebody like him is able to, and he's had the real shit happen to him.
Right.
It makes a big difference.
I mean, did anyone here read the Players Tribune article that got released earlier today?
I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
No.
I
saw everybody commenting on it.
So I would suggest very hard to read it because it does give you a hell of a mindset into what Eddie Kingston has had to go through to get where he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing him in Chikara, and I remember seeing this very big guy. I remember he wrestled Brian Danielson in the Ties tour. He was one of the people that wrestled Danielson when he got released for those 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a banger match with him. And I was wondering why Eddie wasn't getting any credit for the work he did. And now that he's on AEW, people are now commenting these things that I saw, and now they're more polished. So the talent was always there with Eddie. But now he's on a national stage, and Punk is just a naturally good foil. So when you say that there was like some similarities between Punk and Cena from 11, that's not an accident. It's an Easter egg. And Punk is now getting to play the grizzled veteran saying, you're a bum who didn't cut it, and now I have to deal with you. The difference is that Eddie Kingston, CM Punk is now being the heel, that CM Punk stayed the heel. Like, even if
but you're still like, but you can still kind of back whichever one you want, which is kind of smart with that. Rob and then Mike.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and he's always kind of character-wise been that way, where he can do the same thing, and depending on who he's working against, or again, if you know some of the more real-life context, it can swing either. You know, like with the whole, hey, I'm straight edge and I'm better than you. It's like, that could be like, I'm really being an asshole and telling you I'm better than you. Or it could be like I don't need all this other stuff to be better than you. You know, like kind of, you know, he's been able to take things and kind of play them both ways and be heel or face. So, like you said, when he's really digging into somebody else you like, though, that's when it comes, you know, that's when
switches
it kind of
over.
Swings more one way than the other.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, because to me, the reactions of Eddie Kingston and mirroring it to John Cena, both those characters are extremely earnest and honest in every interaction that they have. And Punk always seems like sort of a nebulous cloud of dickishness, where if he's being a dick to someone that you don't like, he's a face. If he's being a dick to someone that you love, he's the worst scum of the earth person you can ever see. So like, but he's always kind of had that, like you said, like he comes off the straight edge saying better than you. Like that's all wrapped in there. But like Eddie Kingston is just such an honest character.
Yeah.
Like even the interaction that he had with Danielson, like Kingston just offhandedly saying, "I take 2 Zoloft today so I don't go out and kill someone." Like that's honest and earnest and amazing that he's like normalizing that kind of talk on AEW.
Well, AEW, I mean, with what AEW's done in the last week to normalize mental health issues and abuse issues as something that you need to handle, and that there's no shame in handling. Just first with Moxley and being so open and honest about him going to rehab, and then Eddie talking about his issues. Like, God bless, because up to like 4 or 5 years ago, no one was talking about mental health issues, and we all knew it was going on the road. Anyone who's traveled the road knows that the mental health issues are there, and it led to some great people suffering from substance abuse issues in this business that lost their lives. So to hear Mox and Kingston talk about it so openly is a breath of fresh air.
And then also with both of them, or with Moxley leaving recently too, it's almost like you can look at it like oh, Moxley was really holding him up, you know. So So it's like, oh yeah, maybe Eddie is a little more on edge or a little more susceptible to things with him not around. You know what I mean?
There was one thing, Eddie, and for that promo that I really liked, and I kept watching it. I watched it like 8 or 9 times in the last like 3 days. And the reason I did was I kept wanting to pick up initial like different things that Eddie was doing, because it's hard to stand in the ring and cut a promo with Punk. Punk's one of the greatest to ever do it. Eddie was holding his own, and he was doing these facial expressions, and maybe this is an AEW production choice, but they had this camera over Punk's shoulder looking directly, so where Eddie's looking. What an angle.
Dude, they've been using that a lot. Like, I've noticed that in matches, like especially some of the Bryan Danielson matches, especially when they did Grand Slam and everything. Like, it's not, we're going to depend, because, I mean, you know how we do production. Like, you're in the front of the thing, you're going in from the front of the stage. So if the person's in the other corner looking directly across, you have a back to them, right? So, and you're really breaking a production rule by putting a camera on that side. But,
absolutely. You're breaking the line.
So 2 things happen. One, you as a viewer get not discombobulated, but it's breaking. It's, you know, you notice it. Like, even if you're just like a passive kind of, you're like, oh, this is different. Something happened here, right? Like, it breaks a little bit of that thing. But yeah, you always have like, and then it's a fucking jib crane they have over there, and they're using it just as another hard cam coming out of the corner, and just like who thinks of that, right? But they're able to pick up things that a facial expression that just would have been missed on any other camera. And it's wild to me because there's so many things at AEW where they just flat miss things. One of the Young Bucks was talking about on their thing, they're like, yeah, I might have like sprained and screwed up my ankle and I came off the stage, but nobody saw it because no camera caught it. You know, like stuff like that, right? And I get not knowing things are happening and you miss it because, you know, we only have like 3 cameras and 2 are manned. And if we don't know this person's going to do crazy thing over here, like, we fucking miss it and that's it, right? Like you know, I think AEW is like, you guys have like 10 cameras, right?
Yeah,
like
how
did you miss things? But again, you know, whatever that is. But then they miss something like that, but then they get this fine detail thing in a Bryan Danielson match or the Eddie Kingston promo or something like that, right?
And
go ahead.
Lucha Underground used to do stuff like that too. Because,
but they were post-edited. This is
and
live. It's a different mindset, Mike.
And they were going
no,
for
I know,
kind of
but,
a more
but
cinematic.
Still, it's capturing.
Yeah.
It's capturing that feel from the show, but just in a live format.
And as we were talking with Chris, like,
and to be fair, I think Rampage is pre-recorded, so it could be.
Not always. Not always. I think it was
not always.
It
was
not always.
But
live,
sometimes it is pre-recorded.
But I don't know how much it's live to tape, and I don't know how much they would have gone back for something like that necessarily. Right. So you go, and I don't know. I don't know what their process is. Obviously and even like, you know, they go back and edit stuff like Dark and stuff, but it's like, it's in the can. They live switched it, you know. Like, there's no, they're not sitting. It's not like me when I send, like, you know, Rob and somebody else to, you know, Rob and Emily to RWA with cameras when I can't do the show, and I sit there and post that an entire show.
And you're seeing it with fresh eyes.
Yeah,
you know,
like
whereas
right off the thing versus like you know, they live switched it and they're like, hey, maybe we should cut out that line that Acclaim said, you know, or stuff like that. That's the editing that's happening, you know. And actually, they fucked that up this week because I'm watching Elevation and the audio dropped out after the Ruby match before they went to the promo. And I'm like, I think somebody missed something here in the editing room. But anyway,
when you're doing a live switch too, like you said, if everything seems fine, you're not thinking, oh, I need to go back and really look.
No. And I really think, I don't think it would be anything worthwhile unless it's like an absolute, oh my God, that was a big thing. We missed Punk doing the exact thing we need for all the promos, right?
Yeah, unless you missed a spot.
Tony?
And the things that they miss, that I can chalk that up to them being relatively young and inexperienced up to a point. They're losing that credibility now with doing more shows. But for every mistake they make, there's like 2 or 3 things that are brilliant. And to lead into, because of that angle, you also got to catch Eddie Kingston's reactions to everything Punk was dropping. So for a WWE promo, I'm used to looking at them flipping the hard cam and you seeing this big wide reaction. And there's Eddie laughing like this laugh that reminded me of Joe Pesci from like Goodfellas
Love it.
or like
He's about to
Casino
kill
or
somebody.
De Niro. This look at this funny guy. Look at this funny guy. I'm gonna stab you in the face with an ice pick, and it's believable because Eddie fucking Kingston. And it just worked. So when we got to the end of the promo where they replaced the "You're the New York Yankees" with "Go retire again, bitch," you believe that headbutt because they've been throwing barbs that if you had followed ROH and Chikara and the late 2000s, mid to late 2000s wrestling, you heard all these things about Eddie. You knew that when Punk was talking about Joe and Danielson, there's credibility to this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even
Oh, yeah.
Homicide when they've referenced
Homicide and Red.
when they've referenced how close Eddie and Homicide are.
And mentioning Amazing Red, which no one really talks about outside of people who work in the business or are diehard tape traders in 2000, whatever you can be as a tape trader.
Or RWA fans.
Or RWA fans.
Or
we had
early
him-
TNA fans.
Because we had him
Yes.
for like we had him for like half a year in a great back and forth with Sanjay Dutt,
But-
like back in like what 16 or 17, right? So
So
Those are names that if you're a diehard wrestling fan,
Mhm.
those are not who's, those are woes.
by the way, I'm pretty sure all that is available on the IndyWrestling.us YouTube
Yeah, it might
page.
be
If you want to
around.
see some amazing red
First
action
month's
over
free.
there. No, on the YouTube. I think.
Oh.
because they're in that range where
All time free.
yeah, all time free for now. Yeah. For now. We'll,
But-
we'll see if they're all gonna stay free.
like I saw a tweet earlier today, like talking about the Moxley Kingston promo, and they're like, why can't WWE do this? Like this only has 2 weeks of build,
Mhm.
and there's a simple reason why WWE can't do stuff like this. This is no slight to the promo or the feud at all because I love the promo, I love the feud, but AEW did not have to do the legwork for this. The legwork is people who have known Eddie Kingston's career for years. He has a rich, storied history. People who have known CM Punk's career, rich, storied history. These are two characters who have never interacted before, really. Not on this big of a stage, anyway.
Mhm.
It's like Batman meeting Spider-Man or something like
Well,
that.
and-
Like you know
You're
these
right.
two characters.
You're right. You're
Like,
right.
you put them together, and all you need is the slightest hint of a story, and then you
yes.
just rely on the characters to be the characters, and that's what sells it.
You're absolutely right. I agree fully with you, but I think it's a two-pronged issue too. Because I think
I'm not throwing any slight, but
Yeah.
the thing is, in WWE, everyone has interacted with
Yes,
everyone on
yes.
every conceivable
you know
level.
you know where you would
Like,
get
that's
that,
what it is.
but you know where you would get that and where that did happen.
NXT.
NXT.
Yeah,
It did
exactly.
happen. Now, if you
Which
saw
we got
something like that,
glimpses of with Ciampa and
Right.
Gargano.
right?
Yeah,
So
but
what
that-
if? But wait. So what if? So like I think you could have a promo, and Rob,
Yeah.
we'll get to you in a sec.
Yeah.
I think you could have a promo of that nature where like Kevin Owens and Finn Balor get real and mention Prince Devitt and New Japan and this and hey, this is why you keep losing on Raw kind of thing. You know, like they can get deep and have that kind of promo. But the problem is, Mike, because you do this and most of us do this. What happens when you're like, that was a really good promo. I love what they did with this, but
Yeah,
they're
but
probably
the
going to mess
thing
it up.
is-
Because the problem
thing
is,
is, like-
the thing is, WWE has slighted you so many times that you can't buy when they do something good.
that's not true at all.
No?
I don't think that's true at all. The Roman Reigns stuff they've been doing has been fan-fucking-tastic.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
have not missed on Roman
It's like the
Reigns.
best
They
thing.
have-
I think the
They have
Roman Reigns,
not missed.
the last year
But-
of Roman Reigns is the best thing WWE has done in the last 5 years.
But this is because, and you know who else has been doing this? Bailey.
Mhm.
And do you know why it works? Because they're the same people. They're different characters.
Mhm.
Reigns has been a face for the majority of his career.
Right.
Even when he was in the Shield, they were heels, but they were cool ass heels.
Mhm.
This is the first time Reigns is actually digging in to being booed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the first time he's embracing it and
Showing so much
using
personality
it. Like,
in the process.
he's kicking
too.
out of pinfalls and delivering low blows at the same time.
Mhm.
I've never seen that shit before, and it's amazing.
Mhm.
Absolutely fucking amazing. Same thing with Bailey. Bailey had been a face her entire career, NXT all the way up through right after Becky Lynch did her amazing man turn.
Mhm.
Like as
A
soon as
man turn.
Bailey slashed those Bailey buddies, the entire game changed for her because she can have all brand new interactions with people who
Right,
she's
right.
wrestled with for years.
You haven't dealt with this Bailey. Rob, you've been trying to say something
Yeah,
for a bit.
I was gonna say too, like when you're saying, oh, why can't, or like why can't WWE do this or whatever? Where I think also when you're figuring with WWE, however many angles they have going on at any time, it's like, yeah, is this going to be the top angle, the thing they're concentrating on right now, or is this like the fifth important thing they fifth most important thing they have going on?
It's like me, where I'm like, well, I'm dealing with 5 different podcasts.
Yeah.
I forget to post all the social media for the Wrestling Mayhem show because I have something else going on.
Yeah.
They're the same way. Their focus goes over here.
Or
Woo
going
squirrel.
back.
Woo
Yeah.
squirrel, or whatever Seth Rollins is wearing this week, and they forget about this over here, right? We forgot about what Viking Raiders were doing.
Or going back to what you were saying about Reigns, it's like right now too, you've got kind of a perfect storm of you've got Reigns showing more personality than he's ever had, which again is kind of ironic because that's what they were trying to get out of him as a babyface, but he came off so so wooden or so generic. But you've also got the Paul Heyman drama going on, and his kind of, where do his allegiances lie? Where you have kind of the angles within the angles.
You know what happens?
And they're all just a part of the.
And you know what I think it really kind of boils down to? Like when things can really dig in, and it only happens on that upper level, it feels, is that trust.
Yeah.
Of, okay, let them kind of run with the ball a little bit, maybe not write every word, kind of thing. And I think that's different. I think there's been more opportunity with, and this is I don't want to get too deep in because I want to move on to the next segment in a minute.
Yeah.
But I think this is a conversation for another time. But I want to just start getting some wheels turned for you guys, like and I think I said that in response on a tweet or a Discord or something. And it says that Tony Khan said it right after I think CM Punk. I think it was after the CM Punk, and like I watched the call afterwards with him, right? It could have been the Bryan Danielson for all I know, but it was all around the same time. But he said, did you talk to him about the promo and stuff? It's like, no, we have trust that CM Punk will go and be CM Punk, and we gave him the time, and we talked, other than saying, and it didn't say outright, but it's like basically other than like knowing, hey, we're going to bring up Darby Allin and set up the match, go do it, right? And I think for better and for worse, and sometimes it's worse. This is not an across the board success for AEW talent.
Oh yeah, because Darby's terrible.
Wait, but across the board, there is trust for them to do the things again. What happens? WWE, you go to WWE, and whatever got you to WWE isn't what you do in WWE, and I think we see across the board that's why things don't work out in a lot of ways. And you can't adapt to the new thing you're supposed to do, supposedly, right? So that's the idea I have there. So, but again, let's put a pin in that. Let's talk about that later. I'm sure there'll be plenty, and we'll see. I'm sure I'll have plenty to talk about after this weekend. This weekend was a pay-per-view. Holy crap! So it'll be interesting.
That aforementioned match that we were.
I'm hoping the guys take it. I'm getting the pay-per-view. We are busy. There's 2 shows. We're going to talk about RWA. We're going to talk about Rise Wrestling specifically on Thursday when we have the Great Success in studio. The entire faction will be in the studio. Mike, you might have to check in to compare trophies with them. With Jordan Styles there again. But
I will be in Disney.
You'll be in. You will be in Disney. Okay. But what was I getting at? Oh, so we'll be busy, and I'm hoping the crew, Rob, I hope you do too. You're invited. We're going to be watching Full Gear. I'm going to try to see, like everybody, hey, try to stay off of social media Saturday night. That works with us on the shows, and we're going to sit here on Saturday and watch Full Gear. And hopefully none of us have been spoiled by then. By noon on Saturday when we start this thing. So it'll be interesting there. But in the meantime, hey, speaking of the shows this weekend, they will be featured. If you can't get out here to get your tickets, you're not able to get to the area, you're in Seattle or Kansas City or wherever, all those shows this weekend that we're going to be involved with, the RWA, the Rise Wrestling, Prospect Pro Wrestling in a couple weeks here, will be a part of IndyWrestling.us, whether it's VODs, DVDs, or if you pick up Indie Wrestling Network for $5.99 7-day free trial, or the $4.99 YouTube membership. membership. Doesn't have everything, but it's got all the latest shows there. And actually, I think all the Rise shows are actually on there too, because I think I did stick all those on the membership a little bit ago. So more stuff being added every month at least, and we're actually working on. We'll chat with Rob. We're working on some new content, and that will be hopefully popping up on all those networks and memberships very, very soon. I'm going to help her. We're IndyWrestling.us is about to hire somebody. This is what's going to happen to help get some of this content out the door because I'm busy. So a lot of great stuff happening there. Literally more than I can handle. Literally more than Sorg can handle.
And we handle a lot of wrestling stuff.
And
a lot of it.
And I got a lot on my plate. And
we're handling other people's wrestling
handling
stuff.
other people's wrestling stuff. We'll talk about XPW in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and we're kind of going everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Everywhere, man. But somebody else who's been to a few companies there, Tony Kincaid with us, of course. And he's been close to the action, sometimes closer to the action than you'd like to be.
Yeah.
With these guys.
Making yourself supreme for that one.
But you got your Renegade Wrestling Alliance is coming up. RWA, this is going to be their 4th show back. I know I messed it up because I sent O'Shea Edwards the wrong show earlier today. And I'm like, it was this one, right? Like, no, it was the next one. I'm like, oh, there were 3 shows already.
Yeah, I can't. I was at them all, and I don't even remember what the first one was.
I missed. Did I miss the last one? No, I think I was. Was I at all of them? I think I was at all of them. No,
you missed last.
Did I miss the last one?
I do remember.
I did post that at the last one. So, but it's like I was there.
Because the first one was the one where we had a very depleted roster.
Yeah. It was the dates were not coming together yet.
Yeah.
But anyways, either way, we was still some great shows back to form for RWA. The crowd is back pretty much as we left them. It's like Tony, do you feel like the crowd at RWA was just like left in Tupperware for a year and a half until we came back and exactly as we left them?
For the most part,
yes.
We lost some members of that crowd that were very vocal and they were great.
No,
great
absolutely.
members. But for the most part, we kept at RWA the crowd that we're known for over there. You know, the West Newton Gymnasium, West Newton Arena, as Doc always calls it, is probably the most unique place that a wrestling event is held in the greater Pittsburgh area, maybe the tri-state area. Those fans at RWA, whether they like me or not, can't call me Billy Kool-Aid and a couple other derogatory terms that I'm not legally allowed to say. They are rabid about Renegade Wrestling Alliance, period. If they like you, they cheer you nonstop. And if they hate you, they boo you until you're through the current again, or they lose their voice. And usually you're through the current again because they don't lose their voice.
Absolutely. So we got the big show coming up this weekend. There's been a lot of course, we had some great events in the past. A couple of times with Cody Diener from Impact Wrestling. Always, old friend of the show. Always great to see him on. Always great to catch up with, and great matches he's been having. We've had a show O'Shea Edwards in the past couple of months, and he's set to return, I believe, this weekend. Crazy Steve has been on. I think still a tag team champions with Jason Gorey.
Yes.
And Brian Johnson was on a few months ago and had a fantastic match. It was good to see him on the roster. So where are we at with RWA? What's going on? What should people be looking for, whether they're joining us here live or just kind of keep an eye out what's going on social media and the YouTubes afterwards?
So open season is shaping up to be a crazy event because it's just jam-packed with talent that is worldwide known. We've only announced officially one match, and that's Sam Beal.
And by the way, we've barely, RWA historically has barely announced matches in the past, and still get a regular packed house.
But we announced that Diener's going to be there, O'Shea Edwards is going to be there. Those matches are always going to be fire. Crazy Steve and Gory are both going to be there. Dennis Gregory and HL Supreme, Sons of Liberty are going to be there. J-Rock, our RWA World Champion, is going to be there. And, the only match that we've announced is Sam Beal versus Daniel Eads. Now, every name that I just named could be in the title hunt for whatever title they chose, whether it's No Limits, the tag team, or the world champion. The great thing about RWA right now is J-Rock has been a fighting champion since he won the title and since we opened back up. You know, he made a running joke about being the longest RWA world champion because of the pandemic, but since then he hasn't stopped. He's been asking for competition every show, telling Feel Bad, give him the best of the best of the best, and Feel Bad, to his credit, has been doing that. You know, he had matches against Diener. He had triple threats against Eads and Diener, where he had to go up against two of the best young talent in the United States, possibly the world. And I still don't understand how Eads is not signed by a major company yet, but to our credit. So those are the things you get to look forward to when going to RWA, not to mention that the crowd is rabid. I haven't even talked about the most hated man in RWA, and Ryan Edmonds, who's along with David Lawless, is absolutely harassing Rev Ron Hunt. Whether Rev deserves it or not is someone else's opinion. I will not say anything about Rev because every time I think about him, I get a hangover. But they're harassing him. So that's going to come to a head at some point. So there are a lot of things going on in RWA that Doc, myself, Church, we cannot anticipate because there's just so much talent and so much testosterone and ego in there that they're just ready to fight each other in the locker room at all times. And it makes for a wonderful show.
No, absolutely. A lot of great stuff going on there.
Not to mention, you said Great Alexander and Jordan Styles are going to be there. Great Alexander is now 2-0 in RWA. So, you know, Alexander's making a name for himself, just not on at Rise, but he's also making a name for himself in singles competition over here in RWA. So just, you're missing stuff if you're not coming to these shows. And it's in West Noon. It's right off of 70. You should be here.
There's several sheets on the way, no matter which way you're coming from. It's great.
There's like 4 within a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, what do I need to tell you from there, right? I think we sold it, right?
That's become a more and more important resource when you're getting out of the shows at 11:30 at night, being like, where the hell can we eat?
Yes, it's it's been Sheets, White Castle, and places that serve garbage plates. That's what I plan.
You don't even need to eat at those places, because at the Ryan Edmonds Memorial Concession Stand, you can find a great hot dog, some great chips, a walking taco. There's great concessions there. We call it the Ryan Edmonds Memorial Concession Stand because now twice J-Rock has turned him into a human hot dog. And if you haven't seen those clips, I suggest going on IndyWrestling.us, checking out the network, and watching previous shows.
Yes, those are definitely on the definitely on the YouTube for sure. And I'm trying to see if I can pull one up here. Yeah, it seems to always happen. I don't know why they can't keep them away from that concession stand. So,
Edmonds or J-Rock?
Yes. Yes. Hey, maybe J-Rock lost all that weight. Maybe he's just having some, that's how he gets.
This is the best shape I've ever seen J-Rock, and I followed
absolutely.
his career when I was a fan. J-Rock, he might be the fittest human being. You know, the pandemic worked well in his favor because he busted his butt to be in amazing shape, and he is kicking ass, taking names, being the big daddy of destruction. Give it up one time, J-Rock daddy. I have to say the whole thing, or he will yell at me. Sadly.
Yeah, it's like in his rider, I think.
Yeah,
it's absolutely it's like that in orange M&Ms because Cleveland. Yeah, and even after the last time I was there, like two shows ago, he sat down next to me by production, like after the match, and it was kind of fun. We were thinking back because like the first show I ever went to in Pittsburgh was him and Ray Rowe, who is now a Viking somewhere, in the great tag team. I'm just like you were just like the other guy in the tag team, and now it's like you're like freaking on top of the world with what you're doing, right? So, and here's a little bit for you guys if you want to see a little bit of that hot dog action, the Rev getting in on the action there.
Man, you know what? You're spoiling them because they could have paid for that, but instead you're giving it to them for free.
Some of them are on audio, so they still got to go look for it because most people listen on audio. Tony.
Okay,
I know what we're
forgot about-
doing. Hey,
Whatever.
we've been doing this. This ain't my first podcast.
And you'd think as much as that concession stand got trashed, they'd put in better kind of
They did. Yeah, it got trashed the one time, and Feel Bad went, "Nah, that was great. We're not going to up security
because
over
either
there.
they
Let's
could
see if it
really
happens
buckle
again."
down.
Did
and
we
make-
lessen security by the stand? Those girls get
Feel
pissed.
bad.
Those girls get pissed every time they do it.
But I was
too.
gonna say, I think there's two ways they could have gone with it. One, hey, we're really gonna tighten up here so that nobody messes with this thing. Or the second one is just, you know what, this is gonna get destroyed every other show or so. We'll just
Does Fred
go
have
with
a
it.
scarf in this? I can't remember what the hell was around his neck. during
Sorg,
this thing.
I think you should stop showing this because they can all catch up online.
Yes, IndyWrestling.us YouTube. By the way, we'll have the Rev next.
Get it?
Thank you, Mad.
Yes. Well, you know what?
Catch
We'll have the Rev on next week, and maybe we'll ask him what's the best hot deals at the concession stand in West Newton. But
Well, I know Edmonds did not relish the situation.
oh,
Wah,
okay.
I stole that from church.
Oh,
Our
I
church
was
does not
okay.
watch
I
it.
was
Watch it.
literally just about to say a relish joke.
I think you.
It just didn't cut the mustard there. Mike.
Nah.
Damn it!
Yes.
I will not participate.
Oh
in this.
wow, Tina. Yes, Cleveland Mafia, Ray Rowe, and J Rock. And also, okay, here's a fun fact: Jason Gorey and the Sheba Zion now walking wild in WWE. What was their tag team name? They actually had two.
Sorry, who was it again?
Shima Zion and Jason Gorey. I think it was before you were coming.
I think I know who that
They had two. One was Team Catfish. I remember.
was. Was it Babyface Fire?
Babyface
Babyface
Fire,
Fire, yeah.
BFFs.
Yeah.
I knew
Babyface
that.
Fire.
I knew that.
Yes. What the hell?
Sorg, remember, I listened to this show before I went to see these people.
Yes. Like back when Walking Wild was doing the Baby Batista by my washing machine. So the show's coming up. Open season. Get your tickets. Come down to West Newton if you're in the area. Definitely, highly recommend it. It will be interesting. If you're like, should I bring my kids to it? Depends on what kind of. Actually, I've had to have this conversation with some parents.
I feel like some people abandon their children at it. At
yeah,
RWA.
there's some child
Cough, doc,
wrangling.
cough, doc, cough.
Yeah.
cough.
No, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking the entire front row 2 shows ago. I'm not sure they were even alive during the last RWA show before the shutdown.
That's how they gain the new fans, right?
Yeah, man, they like to walk.
Man, they do. No guardrails, and you can tell. Man, they like to walk. The bet. I'm not gonna get into that part. So great. Did we mention the one match that was announced, Tony? I can't remember.
Sam Beal versus Daniel Eads. And
Sam
Beal.
Beal, who just got his first televised win on Impact Wrestling in the last week. Look at that.
Just got his first win. Has been making waves in both Impact and MLW, and has also been making his waves in other companies in the area.
Terminator.
Eclipse.
Yes.
He's been crushing it.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
is a hell of a contest for the man of tomorrow, Daniel Eads.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun one. So go check that out. Also, next week, a little more announced for it. Prospect Pro Wrestling is coming up. This is what's the name of the show? It's November Pain, isn't it?
Yes.
By the way, between
Chances are, if there's an indie wrestling show in November, if you say November Pain, that's going to be half of them.
Listen. While we're bringing back names of old IWC shows, can we get a Revengeance? Actually, didn't Premiere use Revengeance?
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It's just sure.
Yeah.
I want a no excuses. I want a Revengeance.
There has to be a Revelations.
If
Resurgence.
If anybody wants to use the one that I came up with that was used for several years, the Clearfield Cataclysm.
Yeah.
So
it only really works in Clearfield, though.
Wasn't there also something in Meadville?
Yeah. We don't talk about Meadville anymore.
Clearfield. Cataclysm only really works in Clearfield.
Hold on. All you need is another city that has a C and maybe an L.
Yeah,
we just got to book that Sebastian dude.
Cleveland Cataclysm.
We just got to book that Sebastian dude that was from up that way, right? Is that how that works? He'll bring the Clearfield with him.
I think you should pitch to Marshall the Catanian Cataclysm. Honestly,
I think you just did.
Cataclysm.
Catanic. Hold on. I'm going to message Marshall Gambino that right now. Hold on. How do you spell Catanning? Nobody's gonna.
Oh,
know
I
what-
don't know.
I
I'm a
always
commentator.
forget.
I can't spell.
I don't know if it's 2 T's or 2 N's or.
You know what?
Kittann.
I'm going to use all K's. You know what? That is the wrong.
No,
That's-
no, that's not a good idea.
That's the wrong number of K's.
That's why we.
I
don't
use 2
have
K's.
King
Yeah.
Just to be
That's
clear.
why we don't have King Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
why.
Yes. Thank you for.
That's why we have Sir Kofi and King Woods.
Yes. But Prospect Pro Wrestling is going on again. A lot of young talent there. So it's one of those promotions that is, it's where a lot of the guys are finding their voice. You know, I mean, it's the prospects, it's the next generation, it's the people coming up through, right? And you're seeing them kind of grow with it, right? Like we've seen Elijah Dean and John Roden like grow a lot there over the last couple years, you know. So it's what are you looking forward to there, Tony, being close to it, other than hopefully not getting hit by ETF again?
Thanks for reminding me of that, Sorg.
There's a lot of violence in your.
He hasn't got kidnapped as many times from.
No, not as many times. No,
Not as many.
No.
Knock on wood. Could
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
please?
I
right.
stomped on the floor a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on, and the best thing about Prospect and working at Prospect Pro Wrestling, along with working again with Doc, which I rag on him a lot, but he's actually one of my best friends, and I love him to death, is that we get to call the future of wrestling before anyone. So like I've seen the rise of Elijah Dean in the Man Diamond. I've seen Money Shot become what they are everywhere in the area, and I got to see the original aspects of that.
Yes.
We got to see A1 Anthony Young, the Sky Prince, emerge, and I got to see Jamie Jamison emerge with as the Country Hammer.
And I say Jamie's a guy. He's been around for a bit, but like he hasn't had a voice, right? He really hasn't until. Huh?
He kicked the door down in the last year.
Yeah.
Like just
absolutely.
with his Timbs on.
With his big boot.
And I cannot be prouder of that guy. And so next week we have RWA. The week after we have 2PW and November Pain. And it is extremely exciting because not only is Sabu and Bill Alfonso legends in the business coming for a meet and greet before the show, which if you have not gotten tickets, they're selling out fast and you're going to want to get tickets to the show. We also have a triple threat for the Prospect Pro Wrestling Top Prospect Champion. Jamie Jamison, who is our Top Prospect Champion, is defending it against Anthony Young, Sky Prince, who has been crushing it in 2PW along as an associate of Money Shot. And Preston Everett, who got an upset win against Jamie while Jamie was focused way too much on Elijah, and now that's going on. There's a lot of matches going on. In addition to the triple threat for the title, we have HL Supreme and Dennis Gregory, the Sons of Liberty, are facing off against Joey Moses and Tia Orich. John Roden was supposed to be in a tag match with Zach Rain against Swole Patrol, but Zach Rain got injured. Zach Rain is now out for a few months, but John Roden, being the juggernaut, said, no, I'll take on Swole Patrol myself. So that's a 2-on-1 handicap match now. We have the Runway versus Chase Gold, Runway and Chase Gold, who have aligned themselves together against the Sexy Talented Dudes, STDs, Friends of the Pod. We have ETF and the Gambino brothers, Marshall and Mickey Gambino,